Okay, welcome back to the channel. Good to see you again. I finally got around. I did mention that I was going to do a video of, I had a session a couple of nights ago now where I made 3 or 4 quite nice caches. No final tables, I don't think, but you know, some nice hands, nice games, nice hands. So we made a bit of profit. So we'll take a look at those. I've used a few highlights here, and we'll see how we go with this. So we're starting off now with the $15. All these games are on GG, so there's a $15 APT. I think this is the Asian Poker Tour online games with I don't know, what's a $40,000 prize here, and see how we get on. I think we were playing this table for quite a while before any other tables start, so there should be a few hands here. We've got ace, early position, always nice to see, but doesn't always end up the way that we want it. So we get re-raised, we're happy with that. I 4-bet here, and I think I overdid the 4-bet because what I don't want to be doing is for people to be folding. My feeling was probably had like a strong hand. Obviously, he's re-raising EP early position, so I was hoping that, you know, a king or a queen or maybe even an ace king would call a 4-bet, but it folded, and probably not the result that we wanted. So I think I probably should have just bet down a little bit there, a little bit, maybe made that about 15. Well, I don't really know these players. I think once I get to know them a little bit more, I can probably make some adjustments. One here with the king 10. We got the third pair. We got the gut shot. So we're going to continue, I hope. Yes. We're against early positions, so it's going to have a lot of aces. And we'll be continuing here. Okay, and tricky hand. I don't want to be paid a lot of money to continue here. We get that. Okay. You know, looking at these hands myself, it's a good opportunity for me just to go over the session myself and see what I was doing, and was I playing hands correctly? Probably there's a lot of hands that I'm not playing correctly. As I've already said, I'm not really a tournament player. I tend to do reasonably okay in them, but I'll be honest with you, I don't consider myself a tournament player. I'm more of a cash player, and but I do need to work on my tournament game. So, you know, doing this myself, having a look at what I do, trying to take some notes myself to improve. If you've got any notes for me, please put them in the comments. That would be great. So we have ace queen off here. Always a tricky hand, I think. I mean, it's something and nothing. Ace queen off, ace queen off, ace jack off. It's one where you need to be cautious. Okay, you know, this is a good example. We've got top pair where, you know, we have, it's not necessarily the nuts, is it? So I was at the start of the tournament. I hope I'm not going to lose my stack in the first. Here we go. In the first 3 minutes. Okay, so we improve on the turn, but again, you know, I mean, we're not necessarily there. I didn't just go for it now because we've either got it or we haven't, and we're up against a draw here. We take an early stack. It's a really tricky hand, and it's kind of like I was thinking, oh, you know, this. We could be dead. I think we just have to. You know, we have no option but to go for it. King. I had a murderous night last night with King. I mean, I played some tournaments last night. I'm playing tonight and tomorrow night. My tournaments last night, I was in a really great position in 2 or 3 of them. I was in position number 3 or 4. You know, looking at a final table or 2, and then I just had a whole batch of Kings come in, and about 5 or 6 of them within an hour or so. All of them lost. All of them. I might do a little video on the. I think I'm thinking about doing some shorts like Bad Beat Blog or something. Because I think about 5 Kings on the road just got beat. And killed me a bit really, but still did reasonably okay last night. I think I got one tournament where I got $100 or something. I can't remember. Another tournament, maybe one more with $20, another with 10, a couple with $10, I think. I don't know. It didn't turn out as bad as I thought it was going to do. But it could have been a lot better. That's what I seem to be at the moment. I've had a few final tables recently. I haven't, overall, I haven't really played a lot of tournaments. I think during the course of the Bankroll challenge, I think there's there's not that many tournaments each week on average, or each day on average. But I do seem to have a lot of getting so near yet so far, kind of getting into the money. I get around about the final table, and then I just dive out. I mean, don't really seem to be able to get that really, really big, nice cash. I've been in some games where, up top it's $3, $4, $5,000. Great. Seem to be really elusive, but maybe one day. I rushed a little bit with the editing here. I've just been really stuck for time yesterday. Had lots to do as well. I had shopping and just chores to do and things like that. And it does take me a little bit of time to edit and produce the videos. And I'm not really good at editing videos yet. I'm, just doing my best to put something out there. So there are little wobbly moments in the video. Please forgive me. Hopefully it will get better. Hopefully somebody will help me edit the videos. I am looking for, I think at some point I'll have to get some help from somebody who knows what they're doing. If I take this a little bit more seriously, it's just a lot of work. So. There's an example. I could have cut that a little bit better, but I think we get there. You get the idea. This one, Bounty Hunters. See here, I think this is an example. 2160. It's only level 1, isn't it? I was thinking, we're in a really good position. It's level 1. It's the first hand. But number one, we're going to win. So yeah, I think now all the tables start to come online. I try to get every hand here, as many hands as possible. That are kind of interesting enough, if you know what I mean. That you know, I don't want to show you all the hands I'm folding. Although I think it's sometimes good to see the hands that people fold. Good to see the hands, the ranges, rather than just, sometimes I think with the highlights you go, yeah, I've got ace ace, and what can I do? So I think that's, in a way, that's fairly straightforward, isn't it? I think, obviously, it's a bit of an extreme example, but sometimes what I want to know when I'm watching a video is, what hands are people folding? Because that really kind of, yeah, I think I learn a lot from that myself, from watching other people. Sometimes I do like to watch the really big games, the final tables where it's all cards up. Very interesting to see what people are doing, and it's what I like to do is this. I haven't done it for a while, but I used to like to watch those sort of final table videos, cards up, and then I used to go around and try to predict what people would do in each hand. So I would say fold, 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 re-raise, and to see how close my predictions were to what some of the best players were doing. And again, some of the hands were very straightforward, clearly a re-raise or whatever. But others, I was like, okay, I've learned something here. That I haven't done that for a while. I just haven't had the time. I was hoping to produce a few more videos, going over how I play. I had a little bit of a problem with. I think I said in one of my last videos. I had a little. I ran into a problem with Jack Jacks. I was overplaying it. I think sometimes I get this. I tilt a bit. Like with my Jack, I was making a nice profit, cash games going up, and it was a very profitable hand. And then it fell off a cliff, and I knew it was. I got the sense of Jack's beginning to lose me money here. And so I looked at my Holdem Manager. There's a link to Holdem Manager in the description. If you don't have Holdem Manager, recommend it to anyone. Great piece of software. And then I kind of had a look at my Jacks, and I was falling off a cliff, and then I began sort of overplaying Jacks, going all in, and I've got an overpair, and against a really sort of loose player, and they would have ace ace. Surprisingly, 60% VPIP suddenly turns up with ace ace, so I'd end up losing more money, and it's like, there's a vicious circle when you sort of okay. I thought, well, I could do a video on this, and I kind of know what I'm doing wrong. I know that I'm overplaying Jack. It was a nice 2 on the river there. Just check it though, because I don't want to value town ourselves. We don't necessarily have the best hand there. Maybe I could have put some chips in the middle, but okay. So yeah, sometimes I know what I'm doing wrong with a hand, like probably overplaying Jack as an overpair, but it doesn't stop me doing it. I think it's one thing kind of knowing what you're doing wrong. For me, it's another thing, Justin. And I have that kind of, especially in game, when you start to get frustrated. You had a few. I'm a lot better at my tilt now. I'm recognizing my different tilt mechanisms, if you like. I'm a lot better. If I like last night, I had 5 kings get beat. you know. And yeah, you know, kind of I was sort of voicing my frustration at that happening. But I think I very quickly just got it back together, settled down, played the game. And I think so it was better than what it used to be before, you know, I'd be like, oh, fuck it, you know, I don't care anymore, everyone hates me, that kind of thing. And now I'm a bit more, okay, well, that was a bit of a bad run. This happens. Okay, it's annoying. I'm really disappointed with it. But I need to play the next hand, and I need to play it the best way I can. And I saw a lot better. I'm not there yet. You know, I'm not like, I think with my cash games, I am. They're more than with my tournaments. You know, cash games, I know that I can just reload. And if I lose a stack, generally I know after a certain period of time that money's coming back to me because, you know, you're playing against a kind of whale or fish. I'm a fish myself, but a really big fish and so on. And I know that I just consider I'm lending you the money. I'm lending you the chips, and it doesn't really bother me so much. Tournaments, I think, you know, it's a much bigger thing. You know, so these kind of tournaments are cost money. Obviously, more money than a cash game buying, and you're out. You know, I don't tend to use two bullets in a tournament. I think. I mean, I like to play a lot of bounty tournaments, and I just think it's a waste of time in bounty tournaments because you know, and you know, I don't know. Just my feeling is, I will maybe use a second bullet if it's, you know, a really special one by year, something like that. If I've been staked, but generally I'm just one bullet, one and done. Because you know, like tonight I'm registered for about 18 tournaments. You know, I wouldn't have the screen space to play did if I double bulleted all of them. Theoretically, I wouldn't have this time or the screenplays to do 36. So I never plan to do two bullets. That is the way that I do it, and maybe that's something I need to look at. Let me know what you do. Great to hear. You know, the good thing about me doing this YouTube channel, this blog, if you like, about my Bankroll challenge, I've really appreciated some of the communication I've you know, some of you guys were giving me some feedback. I may not necessarily have responded to it all. Really difficult for me to to get the time sometimes, and you know, to get a little bit more of an organized response. I think there was one commenter a week or so ago. I really should have responded, and I had it in my mind about what I wanted to say, and I kind of lost it a little bit, drifted. But anyway, but it was a valid point people were making, and I like to hear, you know, people's opinion, particularly when it's about my game. You know, it's great. You know, this is for me is, you know, I'm showing you everything I do, and some of it's not great. Some of it's okay. You know, I want to get better. I want to be number one. I want to make a lot of money. So I've got to the point where, you know, yes, I do use training software, and yes, I have purchased training courses, and yes, I do take off work, work off table, you know. So, but I don't really have a network of poker players that I know and I can chat to and get some sort of feedback on or feedback to them on. So great to develop that for me. I really appreciate it. That's been valued. A lot of the hands here, I think, are fairly straightforward. Not really talking about the hands too much at the moment. You can see for yourself. If you do have any questions about them, let me know. So I think we had a lot of luck in this session. Yeah, I think, you know, some of the looser hands like this. I don't know about this hand particularly, but Ace Jack was holding up a little bit more. Ace Queen was holding up a little bit more. Sometimes I have sessions where I murdered all. So here, you know, this is great. I think I remember this hand now. I think, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try and get the chips in here if I can. That's my plan. I'm doing a bet. Yeah, because obviously there's a flush draw there. You could have 4-4. You could have Ace Queen, Ace King, or 10-10. Would beat quite a lot of things. So you know, and there've been quite a few times where my trip aces have been. So yep, I think that's a good card for us, and I'm expecting a split here. So good for us. Sometimes I think I like to be in a bit. It doesn't really matter too much, but I mean, when I see a player with 41% VPIP, I think, you know, they've probably been. I've already seen them make a few really loose moves. I think maybe a bit of a gamble, have roll of the dice sort of player. You know, I'm hoping for a hand like that. You know, that 10, which got, but we could have easily had. Yeah, sometimes you got. I've been in situations like that where I've had king and it's ace and the board. I thought, oh, they really going for it. They're putting money in. You can't have an ace, please. I think you're messing around with queen, jack, and blah blah blah, and they have ace or something. You know how it goes. I do find that sometimes. That's this session. It wasn't so much. Sometimes I get premium hands, and they always get beat by the high, but always get beat by the big stack and the high VPIP player with their nothing hands. So they get rivered all the time. I just expect it to get rivered, and if I win the hand with ace, I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. I just don't expect to win it. Sometimes if I'm going all in against a 67% VPIP and they've got a bigger stat with me, and I've got ace, I fully expect it to just go down the toilet. You know, it just seems to do that so many times for me. Okay, so again, I'm looking to get all the chips in here if I can. Whatever. Okay, so that was still not there yet. Still got outs. Still got outs. I like the way to do that at GG, where they, you know, obviously you put the percentages up. I mean, I know what the outs are and stuff like that, but it's nice to see it visually like that. You know, you get that little pop-up bubble with the what they need. It's kind of. I went through a period of time. I think you look at some of my old video. I don't say old videos. I've not really been doing the YouTube channel that long. November the 12th last year, so 3 or 4 months. You know, I've done. I think up until now, I've been playing a lot more on Poker Stars. I've just been going for those monthly poker challenges on PokerStars. I think I've really enjoyed the last couple of days or so playing tournaments. I do get some staking for my tournament. I get some staking on a website, poker staking website that I get. Somebody supports me there. I have a friend who backs me a little bit, and someone I've known for over 50 years. Very supportive of my game. And obviously, I advertise my game on GG, which do have a staking system, and they seem to, you know, sell quite a lot of shares there. So, for example, tonight, in the next few hours, I think starting at 6:30 my time, 30 p.m. So what's it, 2:30 now. So this is a hand where it's really difficult to get value, isn't it? You know, they know that that you have something because you're continuing, and you know, I'll go slow, and then oh, I think it kind of gets worse because you think, okay, you know, I've got a free now. They give it up, and I want to get some money out of them, please. And I try to put. I think I put maybe this bet's a bit big. I think I should have gone a bit smaller here, and I think he's had enough. Bless. Yeah, I think he knew straight away. We had ace queen, ace jack, so difficult to do anything there. But that was a one that really kind of hit my range really well. This is a tricky one. I think I end up folding this one because isn't this guy here, Jerry 12? That's got something obviously. He's re-raised. Put it all in here against it. Early position opens. I mean, it still could be a fairly loose something, but I got a really big stack next to me. And I just thought here, I could shove, and I could call, I could shove, I could fold. Ace King off, it's really kind of tight fold. I just had a feeling I was going to be shoving, and then I'll be seeing ace, ace, and king, king there, you know. And I've got ace, king off, and that's the end of my tournament, you know. And sometimes I just think, I think this comes from my days where I used to play sit and goes, you know, and it's a bit of like a collusive strategy where collusive is not the right word. Sounds like you're cheating. It's not. Sometimes when I used to play sit and goes, I've got a couple of videos I need to edit where I played a couple of $1 knockouts. I thought I'd play a few of these. Maybe try to play about 10 tables and do a video of knockout sit and goes. I've done one or two so far. I've won money in them, I think. And sometimes you get value from not playing a hand. Because what you want to do is, what I try and do is, you have to do sometimes. Yeah, I've got a good hand, but it's not the best hand. Okay, I could be hammered here by potentially two players and bigger stack, blah blah blah. And sometimes you just think, let those two fight. Let them let them carve each other up. And you're still there. Sometimes you get more value. I forget there is a word for it. Not collusion, or that's not the word, I don't think. But you know, you just think you've got two choices. I can play the hand and take the risk, win or lose chips. So that's hard. You know, sometimes that's high risk, particularly with ace king off. You know, and you think, okay, I've got a feeling that this player's got a nutty hand. Maybe two players have got a nutty hand. Ace king off, great, but you know, it's gonna struggle against ace ace and king king and queen queen. You know, you're behind. So, situations like that, I'm going to be thinking, okay, it's better for me to just sit this one out, let them carve each other up, and then, you know, deal with what's left. Now, when something like a sit and go, for example, where it works is, let's say you have a 9-player sit and go. I don't know what the knockout, how many people are on the knockout tables. Let's say, for example, it's 9 players, okay? 3 players get paid. Great, so 6 players go out. You know, so sometimes it's actually better. It's actually higher, more value to not play a hand and let, you know, 1 or 2, 3 other players, let them fight each other, knock each other out, because then you're closer to the money. I mean, clearly, obviously, there's some hands you're going to, you know, ace, I'm not going to sit out that one, am I? And king, and queen, and so on. But sometimes there's a case for letting other people harm each other for your benefit. There is a word for that, and I don't know what the word. So yeah, I had the open-ended there with the pair of 8s, and I thought, you know, okay, let's really attack something like an ace king, an ace queen, an ace jack sort of hand. Don't really think he had. I think he's re-raising quite a bit, that guy. I know him a little bit now. Not that much. Good player. Re-raises me quite a lot when I'm playing against him. So I kind of thought, okay. Re-raising a bit loose. You don't have something nuttish. You did. Oh. So yeah, let's go back to the staking. I mean, I've booked for about 18 tournaments tonight. I think I've got a stake in about 10 of them so far. I think I've advertised some staking in all of them. I think the most I usually stake now is about sometimes 70%, but generally about 60%. A lot of tournaments about 50%, some even less. It depends. I may adjust it as I'm going in the evening. So, you know, I've got if I put 30% on for sale and I'm not doing that well, I want to continue. I might sell another 20% on a game. Or sometimes if I'm doing really well, I might just cancel some match later on in the game. Just kind of reach my targets. But generally I kind of leave it as it is, because I think I want to take care of my stakers. I don't want to make them feel like, okay, I'm all right now, Jack. I've got all my money. You know, I want to build a relationship with people. You know, so but sometimes, particularly, you know, I've got a few $2, $3 games that I'm playing, and I might. So there's a motorbike noise there. I don't know if you can hear it. Probably can. And I might, you know, cancel or staking on that later on because it's cancelling $1 or something. That'll be. Okay, not the best editing in the world. I'm learning everything. You know, I'm looking at here 2 computer screens, microphone, boom arm. I've got video editing software, using PowerPoint to do this, that, and the other. A few weeks ago, I didn't know any of this. I could tell, I know. But I'm happy because I'm learning new things myself, you know. And I've met a few people. Funny, I kind of I met a guy who had his boom arm to sell for my microphone, and he's a YouTube blogger. And it was interesting background. He, you know, comes from a similar area where I was born and grew up a bit. Support rival football teams and this and the other. So you know, I've met a few people like that, and you know, it's great. The guy, I've got an amazing boom arm for my microphone here. It's sort of the arm that holds your microphone. I don't know. I mean, he gave it me, sold it me for, I don't know, about $30. Oh, okay, well, I had no idea how much these things were, but I think everything's expensive. Oh, you know, $30 for a stick. That's a bit much. Maybe I could dangle my microphone from a rope from my ceiling, you know? That'll be okay. Get some string. Save some money. Anyway, I brought the boom arm, and it's an amazing piece of amazing boom arm actually. I really like it, but I had a look at how much the price was, you know, if I was to buy it. I mean, he said he's used it once, it's in the box, and it just gets in the way of what he wants to do, which I can understand because he does something very different to me on his YouTube channel. And he's not really sitting down, and we've got a nice set here with the fives. That's great, you know. Level 12. 154 out of 845. And we have a set. This is beauty. I mean, the feeling here when I got this was just like, I'm thinking, okay, 2 stacks. I've got them both covered. I've got bounties coming. Hopefully. And then that's a great card for me. Because I think, you know, if they got aces, if they got ace queen, I want to sort of get more money in, a check. Come on. Tease. Yes, one goes for it. I can't remember what happens at the end of this hand. Okay. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Now, do a call. Do a shove. I think the other guy over here, Z1193, he's in for it. I call. Okay, I'm going. I'm playing technical. Jacks is so really we're beat by King 10, obviously. Is somebody messing around with King 10? Quite possibly. We have to see now. Come on. I don't think this guy calls, if I remember. I think. Oh, no, there he goes. Ace Jack, Queen 10. Oh. 222 chips. That is spectacular. And we go up to number 2. So this is what I like about playing tournaments. I mean, with all the crap that you have to put up with them, and there's a lot, isn't there? Come on. We all know crap that you get with tournaments. It's moments like that that you know, I could do that in a cash game and I'll be like plus $20. On a $10 game, you know, you'd be plus $20. Okay, great, wonderful. In a tournament now, I'm number 2. I can't remember what I get in the end of this. It wasn't that not too much in the end, I don't think. But number 2, and I'm thinking, oh yes, this could be plus $2,000. You know, I think for me that is the thrill of tournaments, isn't it? Like that hand for me encapsulates what tournaments are about. That you get major value from winning hands like that potentially. And yeah, I got a little belt as well. Belt number 2 now, number 3. I like those little belts. So yeah, back to my boom arm. I kind of had a look online. How much is this brand new? And nearly $200. So the guy very generous. I need to go. I think I might have said this in a previous video. I do need to go back, see him, and buy my drink. It's just been really busy. I haven't had time recently, but no thanks. I have spoke to him online to say thanks. I like it, but he did do me a good deal. Very kind of him. So, oh, here's another. You know, this was. I was having a bit of a moment. I think here. This didn't come too long after the 5-5 hand, and we got trips. So again, it's can we get any value here? So I'm getting a bit of protection here. You know, we got the flushes there, 2 flushes there. Trips is by no means the best hand. Beaten by 5-5, 7-7. Yeah, ace queen. Oh, and the flush gets there, but it's a beauty. Now I think this guy's going for it with his 21. He's, you know, hopefully he's after a flush. I was just gonna say, if he got it, and he's got Jack. Yeah, I'll be happy to see that. Didn't really matter. Okay, great. So I think this video is about an hour long. I think about 15-20 minutes to go, I think. King. Looking to get the chips in here if I can. Although, you know, more, you know, and ace and king, I'm always nervous because I've had so many bad experiences. Yes, stats. Well, most of it ace the stats are okay. King stats are not as good as ace, obviously. But you know, it is do or die, isn't it? I'm happy to have king. Not complaining, but I flat the sevens. I think here I flat the sevens. I think in this particular tournament I was card dead for ages. I was just wanting to play something. 16%. I've been finding that in the $20 games, $25 games. Just 3 or 4 games I played with them. I just dealt all the dead cards. I mean, I think I do play a bit too tight anyway. But, you know, sometimes I just got nothing to play. Hey! 5-3 off. Early position. You know, and you got 2 players shoved and you got like, you know, 7-2 off. I'll play that. Fold. That's one of the things I think in tournaments for me is if I'm card dead, I think I tend to tilt a little bit if I'm card dead. Because I just think, you know, sometimes in a tournament, let's say I start off with 100 chips and I sit there and I'm fold. And I'm 28 chips and I'm jack 10 off, all in. You know, it's kind of, I'll just say I've got to go for it now because I've just spent an hour folding, and I know that if I this is the best hand I've had forever. I just want to go all in just to get a bit of, you know, otherwise if we're going to play this, I'm going to get nowhere. If I fold it, I'm obviously going to get nowhere. I'm going to go all in. Turn off. Meet say or something. I just think, gosh, you know, I'd fold for another hour and be down to 5 chips and got no fold equity left, you know. So I mean, there's two sides to that coin, isn't it? Is kind of, I think what I'm learning a little bit more with the tournaments is how to use your fold equity. I think that's been improving a little bit. Is, you know, there's value in being aggressive with marginal hands because you have fold equity. You know, that the simplest way of putting it, I think. And yeah, and the other side of it is balancing that between tilting is you're playing a hand because you've had nothing forever and you think that this is going to be the last hand you have forever. Anyway, so now we have a blank screen. Okay. Wonderful view there. Terrible editing, isn't it? It does get better. Sort of cut that out a little bit. I did say I did rush a little bit. You know, busy doing things. But I think, you know, I know this is a highlight video. That should have been better. It's difficult sometimes. I mean, I think here I have about 6 tables. Now I don't have about 6 tables. I've, when this was the first tournament, but it's been there on my screen. Now we're level 14, 13. So we're just outside the money at the moment. Been going for a couple of hours or so. But it's difficult sometimes, you know. I find that when I'm recording and you know, let's say for example we've got 6 screens there, and you can get a situation where you've got nothing happening and all those 6 screens forever, and then start waiting for a bus. They all come up with something, and it's like, okay, which hand do I show, and so on. And very often I'm picking the wrong hand, you know. I open raise and everyone folds, and then on the next table there's like tons of action. So there's a motorbike. I don't know if you can hear it. I have got my audio set up as best as I can to reduce background noise. But my window's right next to it's a very. I'm in a very quiet condominium. Generally, really quiet, but there's a little side road, and sometimes people ride up and down there with a motor, but not very often with a motorbike. Usually, when I'm recording, it's somebody, a youngster with like one of the loud sounding bikes, not a normal sounding bike. Somebody who's adapted it to sound loud. And I think they wait until I'm doing a video and they go, okay, let's go. You know, so yeah. We've had 2 bikes here in an hour, you know, so something like that. Generally, it's really quiet. Like, my neighbours are really quiet as well. This is what I have to be careful with as well because my neighbours are really quiet. I think everyone in my condominium, my apartments, you know, I think people really respect each other. They take care of each other a little bit, you know, quiet, peaceful. And I know, you know, some other condominiums and apartments near me where people are having a nightmare. Neighbors are partying all the time, lots of alcohol all over the place, shouting and screaming, and I'm really lucky. I think generally it's good. So this is the problem for me is when I'm playing tournaments. Like tonight, I'm going to start at. This is a tricky hand. Let's just 6, 7, 8, and I know he's holding an ace of spades. I felt that from the beginning. Why is he continuing? He's either got a flush or he's got the ace of spades. He's got the ace of spades and he ripped the ace. So fair enough. And he had the 4 there, so that had some connection. Okay, just that was I'm always asking that, and I flush board, why are people continuing? If people are continuing, they've got usually, I think, in my mind, they've either got a flush, or and they could have had a straight, obviously, essentially, or they've got the ace. Red here. Got a lot of out. He's got a lot of outs. 8 out. 10 outs. Very good. I hate that when you got a river. It's kind of. I hate it when they've only got 1 out, 2 outs. Let's close my eyes, please. This session was okay like that because I seemed to not really get rivered that much at all. I have other sessions where the 1 outer, 1 outer, 1 outer, 1 out. That was last night a little bit with my kings. I'll do some short videos. Crucify me a little bit, but well, like I said earlier, I came back and recovered. I think with this speed racer bouncer, I just played this myself and I ended up winning about $73 in it, I think. And I don't think I got the end of the tournament on this video. I think for some reason, I may have went out at, the last hand or two was just poop. But I was on I was on another table, and I'm sure there might be a way to record 2 tables at the same time. I don't know. I'm not sure, but probably not. But yeah. So getting back to my neighbours. I mean, I'm like, for example, I tend to start my tournaments about 6:30 in the evening because of where I live. The tournaments with money tend to be in the evening, later, nighttime, midnight, 1 o'clock. I don't really like to do them at that time unless it's exceptional. I tend to start my last tournament about 9:30 p.m. Okay, and I'm tired then. I know to do well in the tournament, it's gonna be a tough one, but I can do it. Um, I was even thinking of maybe moving somewhere else to make that easier for me, but it's a bit of extreme. But anyway, but I don't want to upset my neighbours. It's okay me maybe talking about 6:30. I'm not sure how much my neighbours can hear me, but 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, and you're yap, and you're talking about your tournament, and you're like, oh no, we just got rivered, all this kind of stuff. I just think, I don't want to go there. I don't want someone knocking on my door saying, keep the noise down. Because it's not that sort of place, it's kind of, it's a relaxing place. I don't upset gotta live together, you know. It's a nice place like that. So I tend not to do the audio when I'm playing. We've got top pair here. 44% VPIP, so I think he's having a go. He's got the draw. All those outs. So yes, hold. Okay, nice. Got 5. Went up, but we had to go in for that because that sizes. Yeah, so I tend to do the audio the next day. So, you know, I record, I just sit back and try to record whilst I'm playing if I am recording and save the file, and then the next day I'll edit it to highlights. And that can take time because sometimes a 7-hour video, chopping that down, and I'm not that good at doing it, you know, so it takes time. And then I put the audio on after that, which I'm doing now. So usually I try and get down to about an hour, then sit there for an hour. But you know, at the same time, I think there's a value, like I said earlier, there's a value of me going through it. So King 7-7. Yeah. That was a nice one. With position, I like those with position 4-9-2, 5-7-1 players, 5-1-2 players get paid. So that took us up to about 200 odd. So that's good. That's a nice feeling, isn't it? When you kind of like, I really need something here to get me away from trouble. I like that one. Jack, we were ahead. Beat the ace now. Double. Yeah, I think the rivers, you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? You know, you have to hear, I'm always getting rivered. I'm always getting, well, you know, there's sessions like that, well, like this one, I'm not always getting rivered. It's kind of going my way, you know? And I'm getting more used to that in tournaments, you know? It's like, yeah, sometimes they might only have a small percent chance of getting their card, but, you know, they do have a chance. And sometimes that hits. And when it hits, it hurts. Feel the pain. I love that. That was, you know, this was great, you know, kind of a nice little run here. When we got lucky in this hand too, ace 3 suited. 13, gotta go for this. This one time, okay then, let's do it. Okay. Boom. Okay, let's hold. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yeah. So we get a bounty there and nice. So yeah, we were riding our luck a little bit. It was working out. With 7 here in the Speed Racer. That's a nice feeling as well. I think I had about 3 or 4 tables here where I was in really good positions in all the tournaments. I don't know, I think it might only be down to 2 tables now or whatever, but you know, it was great. It just felt like I don't think I was really playing particularly well. I think a lot of my hands were fairly straightforward. Ace ace type of thing. I mean, I don't think we've seen. Actually, I don't think I've had ace ace the entire. Actually, I can't remember the last time I had ace ace. Yeah, it's funny because last night I had king king about 5 times an hour, and they all lost. And I can't remember the last time I've had an ace ace. I don't think there's been one in this video where I've had ace. Oh, maybe right at the beginning, wasn't there? One ace ace in 6 hours, 6 tables or whatever. Well, there you go. Okay, so it's 10. Boom. Okay. Hold. That's for a bounty as well. Great. So it was good, we were getting this kind of look, and it was on a few tables, like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it was. So they're really aggressive with the ace queen suited, king queen, king. Look, run out. And it's in a big tournament, $15. Well, I say big tournament, but the others are $2 and $8 or whatever. But in the biggest tournament, that whatever. And you just said, yeah, I want to get in the final table on that one because the first prize is like $4,000 or whatever. On all the other tables, it's $200, $300. It's fine. I'm not complaining. But I want that one. I was like, oh, suddenly the looks run out on the bigger table, on the biggest table. Always the way. One day. I can feel, you know, I think my tournament game is improving, and I've got a lot of work for it to improve. I've got a lot of work to do on improvements, is probably the best thing to say, but I think it's going in the right direction. And I think with a bit more work, and I've got an idea what I want to do, but again, it's getting the time. I've got in my mind where I want to sit down off table and what I want to do to do some work on improving my game. So when I get back to the table, I can implement that. Because, when I'm playing, there's still some guessing in areas. Particularly with my push fold and my ranges, my bet sizes, everything. I'm guessing. I've got, I think I'm playing like a cash game player, I think. And I need to, I'm playing too tight. There's a list of things, so I know the list, and I just need to sit down and go, okay, point one. It's going to take a long time to go through that list. But I think when I do that, my results will improve. My results have been okay. And if you go through if anyone is on GG or any of the GG poker skins, if you look at my staking profile, the results are not too bad. Particularly the last week or so, some nice cashes there. But there's not any. I have done I have got first spot, second spot, but in a smaller tournament. Yeah. When you get to the $15, $20 tournaments, and these are still small tournaments, small tournaments, not a big thing. But, it, I would have liked to have seen a few more final tables there. But you know, I think I'm happy getting into the money. I'm happy getting into the money regularly enough and making a profit if I can. Those tournaments are, you know. But I do feel my feeling is if I do the work off table and I keep doing what I'm doing and I implement some of those adjustments, I think that will begin to be seen in my results. We will see some more final tables. We will see some nice first place. I just need to do the work. I'm not being lazy about it. I thought the last week or so I've just been making busy. I mean, I don't drink and I don't really socialize. You know, I got, you know, I've been doing things with people the last couple of weeks, but I'm not like I'm really indoors quite a lot. I'm playing quite a lot. I've got my hobbies, but you know, it's just things like I had a couple of commitments over the last week or two, and a couple of things that needed to be done, so on. You know, and like I say, you know, it takes time to play, it takes time to edit a video, it takes time to do the audio. You know, it takes more time than what you think actually. So anyway, that's my whinge over. So you know, the idea of, and I really need to just plan a little bit more. I think I'm getting a little bit more organized, but I'm behind in things. I need to do a poker challenge update. Just haven't had time. But I think I haven't had time because I really didn't have the right system in place to enable me to get all the information together. And I worked on that a little bit this morning. I think that's better now. So it should be better in future. I've got my Holdem Manager, but the thing is with the GG games, I need to put everything into a spreadsheet because like some tournaments are staked, and I can't sort of use Holdem Manager to doesn't take account of that. So obviously there's staking. I mean, for example, I'm paying about $200 worth of tournaments tonight, but with all the staking, before I even start, I have about $120 of staking. It's only going to cost me about $80, 18 tournament. So I need to make $80 to break even. Anything over that is profit. So, you know, if I just presented all that without the staking, you know, it wouldn't be an accurate reflection of the bankroll. Because if I win all those tournaments and you see like an amazing graph, actually, and I have to give half of it away, you know, well not give it away, but I have to, you know, it's not my money. People have paid for that to give them their share, so that reduces by about 50% or whatever. I think my average stake tonight is 56% on average. So yeah, well, I win $2,000 tonight. I've got to give over $1,000 back to stakers. Not back to them, but that's their winnings, not mine. Good, well done for them. But I can't put, you know, I can't just put all that on my graph and go plus $2,000 there. That's my bank. It's not my bankroll. It's like part of it's my bankroll, but part of it's not. And then I need to calculate how much I've earned from the staking. So yeah. Good luck, ace queen against 7-7. So this is where I really want the ace queen to come in, you know. $21 tournament. It's just it's you see what I mean? It's in those bigger tournaments at the moment. If that was a $2 tournament, I would have won it. Huh? I say what, 7-7's a killer hand for me. Many times I've been beat by 7-7 on the bigger tournaments. Ace Ace. I had Ace Ace one weekend 2 months ago. Playing some bigger tournaments. Got done by 7-7 2 times in a boom. 7-7. Almost identical hands. Boom. 7-7. Get to 7. First card 7. Okay, same happened again. About 5 minutes after each other. Wasn't long. I had Ace Ace. I shoved them in. Oh, here we go again. Turned over 7-7. I said, don't do it again. First card 7. Leave it. The odds of that. Still, even now when I think about it, I feel pain. You know, but sometimes you get that. But you know, you're playing so many tables. And you just say, oh, what are the odds of this? What are the odds of being the same cards, the same, almost identical, and very close to each other as well. So the odds of that are very slim, having virtually the two same hands play out, with the same results, being really shitty for you. But it happens. So I think that was my last hand, that game. So $66 there. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that.